is a crucial meet between Arkansas and Georgia to making the SEC championship this year. One team in the SEC will be left out, and neither of these want to be the ones that happens to. You're watching Friday Night Heights, presented by Sprouts Farmers Market. Hi there again with the Olympian Sam Pesek. I'm Alex Perlman, and Sam, we know that road scores in college gymnastics are paramount. Arkansas needs a really good one here. They've been so good at home. It's been different away from Bud Walton Arena.
Yeah, well, when I spoke to head coach Jordan Weber, she said that's been the biggest obstacle for their team this season, is to compete the same way they do on the road as they do at home. So it is so important that they're able to compete consistently here tonight. So that's their goal of the night, is to perform the same way on the road.
Yeah, and we will see if that happens. Maddie Waligora is going to have a lot to do with it. The sixth-year transfer from Alabama, who really was on her game last week.
Well, coaches speak volumes about the leadership she's been bringing to the team this year, but as you can see from these scores, she's bringing more than just her leadership. She is producing big numbers for this team. Last weekend was the first time of the season she was debuting 2 additional events, and we're slated to see her a few more times here today. Lily Smith is also a big contributor for Georgia's team. She was the #1 returning athlete on 3 events last year: bars, beam, and floor. You're really gonna see why with her elegant lines and just the beauty that she brings to her gymnastics. She has been an all-around stud for this team, and a gymnast that they can really rely on week in and week out.
The reigning SEC freshman of the year. We have a bit of a delay, though, inside Stegman Coliseum. You can kind of see the haze here on the floor because of the pyrotechnics that went off earlier. There is a reason you're scanning one side of the gym and it seems like it's packed and full and ready to go, but then look at the bottom of your screen. Right now, they are waiting to bring those fans back because this haze is so strong. And actually, Sam, we can really smell it where we are right now.
I was just gonna say, it's really a big deal here, especially when you're doing gymnastics and trying to have the endurance to breathe through your routines. It is pretty smoky in here.
Yeah, it is thick. It feels like we're at a campsite in a lot of ways right now.
I'm actually, to be honest, I'm actually very surprised that there's not a bigger delay and that the athletes are still warming up, because the smell is pretty bad.
Yeah, they did push the warm-ups back. There's 2:45 on the 4-minute warm-up clock. But right now, I mean, we would be going right into first vault. But one of the co-head coaches for Georgia, Cecile Concuto-Landi, who, of course, famously is the head coach on the Olympic team for Simone Biles and Jocelyn Robertson, who we are going to see for Arkansas as a freshman, as well as Jordan Childs, who now competes with UCLA. She has really brought a new life to this program, I think. And remember, this is the most decorated NCAA gymnastics program. 10 national championships, 5 under Suzanne Yocklin in a row, but none since 2009. And really, it's Cecile and co-head coach Ryan Roberts' job and their charge to get this program back on track.
Well, we had a good chance to speak with Cecile earlier in the week, and she said just how much fun she's having. And I asked what the biggest advice she's bringing to collegiate world from the elite world, and she said just reminding everybody that it's gonna be okay, just to breathe and to have patience. That's been a resounding message that she's been passing along to this team.
And for Arkansas, it's hard to believe it's year number 6 for Jordan Weber, the tremendous Olympian, leading Arkansas to one of its best seasons in college, as Kyla Ross, also an Olympian, moves the mats getting ready for bars here for her team. It's really incredible, this coaching staff that they have brought together. Chris Brooks, Jordan's now husband, and soon-to-be father. Congratulations to Jordan and Chris, for sure. He was an Olympian as well. So the vast wealth of knowledge that we are seeing in the game, from Cecile to Kyla to Jordan to Chris, it really is pretty incredible. And we can see, that this is the preeminent conference in college gymnastics. It's not even close. I mean, Arkansas is number 15 in the country, but they are the last team right now in the SEC rankings. And so they are the odd man out at this point, Sam. That is why this is so important. They have 3 more road meets to go, but their scores at home where they have upset 2 number 2 teams in the country in LSU and Florida, they are not even close to the same on the road. And that's really been the story of Arkansas's season, the inconsistency.
Yeah, it's been interesting when I asked her the difference competing at home versus away, and head coach Jordan Weber said, I don't really think it has much to do with our home environment, but it's how our team is able to handle distraction on the road, and that's what she wants to see an improvement with here tonight. She said, we've been focusing on ignoring the scores and just viewing the score as feedback and not seeing it as a positive or negative.
Well, Sam, right away, everyone that's competing in this meet is going to have to deal with the distraction because of this delay that we just had. Does that really change your mindset at all?
Sometimes I think if everybody has to deal with a distraction, it actually helps eliminate some nerves coming into the competition.
Here's Nia Howard, who is a late addition here in the leadoff spot.
And good choice for Georgia. Very clean Yurchenko full to get things going for them.
Arkansas will lead off with the Olympic alternate from Paris. Jocelyn Robertson, a freshman from Texarkana, Texas, who trained at World Champion Center, the same gym as Simone Biles and the same as the Georgia co-head coach, Cecile Conquito-Landy was the head coach at.
Having a freshman in this leadoff spot speaks volumes to the personality that she brings to this team. Good recovery on the pirouette. Back up to a handstand position. Finishing double layout. Coaches say she is such a gamer. That's why she's in this leadoff position. She's one of those athletes that does a better job when she salutes than any of her practices. She just brings it when she needs to.
Jocelyn, the only all-arounder, so we know who is going to win that competition. The only question is, what's the score going to be? Here's our second 9.95 start value out of 10. The rest are 10.0 start values for Georgia. And this is Jeffrey Scott, the junior from Gage Gymnastics in Kansas City.
Yurchenko layout full. You can see just how high she got off the table.
It's been really clean so far here on these Yurchenko fulls for Georgia.
Good straight arms on the table. You see her spotting the ground. She can afford to really flare it out just a little bit more. That'll help her with the landing.
Now, we've been told by a Georgia spokesperson that actually the fire is outside of Stegman Coliseum. It was not because of the pyrotechnics inside, which makes sense because they do it for every meet. The ventilation system is what's bringing the smoke here inside the Coliseum.
And it's still pretty smoky from where we're sitting.
Callie Swaney now as she follows up the 9.85 from Jocelyn Robertson.
Back down to the low bar. Last meet, she got a 9.9. So a lot of athletes in their lineup have the ability to produce those big numbers, especially if they get the landings right here. Oh, not quite. Too much juice. Upper body couldn't quite hang on to the stick position.
She was a late addition last week as well and got that 9.9. Talking about stepping in when her team needs it. We'll see what that score comes in as. And here's the Hungarian international, the Nebraska transfer, Cenge Bacskoy, who qualified for the Paris Olympics on vault. On this event, always wanted to compete for her country, dreamed of the opportunity to make the Olympics, and she made it a reality last summer.
Yurchenko 1.5, it's their first. Oh man, she almost had that stick. She was so sharp to that landing. I really thought she had the hold on that finish. Working on those body positions in the air. You see a little bit of form with get those knees and hip position, but does a nice job finding that air awareness for the landing.
So far on vault for Georgia, 9.75 and 9.8 for those Yurchenko fulls. Remember, those started at 9.95 start value. The Yurchenko 1.5 we saw from Chenge is a 10.0 start value. Caitlin Ewald follows up a 9.85 and a 9.775. You can see the scores on the tower on the right side of your screen as they come in.
Big cast handstand. Coaches say she can really come in wherever in the lineup and do a really nice job. They've been pleased with this addition to the team this year. Tough to see from this angle, but looks to be a little overshot on that pirouette. Finishing double layout.
Caitlin Ewald finishes up there with the dismount. Tomorrow morning, our Shriners Children's Clearwater Softball Invitational coverage continues with Liberty taking on 16th ranked Missouri. And Sunday morning, it's Charlotte and number 7 Texas A&M, one of the premier non-conference and early season softball tournaments. Looking forward to a whole weekend of that coming up from Clearwater. Nyla Aquino following up back-to-back 9.8s from Scott and Botchkoy.
Soup full. It is so nice in the air, legs great. Chest down on the landing. You see by her face that if she waited just a little bit, watch her chest position on the landing. You see she's coming and then just the slight tilt, she almost had a perfect landing there.
Co-head coach Ryan Roberts says that Nyla just has the it factor. She's going to be an all-arounder. You don't want to miss her on floor, too, because power doesn't even begin to describe what she possesses there tumbling. Now Priscilla Park, the sophomore from Atlanta, so a bit of a home meet for her, just an hour and a half away in Athens, coming off a 9.8 from Ewald.
They felt like they weren't able to get the most out of her gymnastics last season, so that skill right there, they actually limit her numbers to manage her back pain that she occasionally has. So really impressive that they work on her mental toughness so that she doesn't have to train as much to keep her body as healthy throughout this season. Looks like it's working well for her too.
At this point, you see the grade out score from Callie Swaney under Arkansas, trying to drop a 9.775.
This is called a Ray release move. Back up to the handstand. Finishing double layout, and again, needing to hold on and absorb the landing on these dismounts.
And a 9.8 last week, trying to better that here with only 2 gymnasts to go now for Arkansas. Addie Wall, a 9.775 last week in her vault.
I saw her stick a 1.5 in warm-up. It was so good. And you see it by her face, because it is so tough when you know that you have just stuck a vault or a dismount on bars, and then a little more adrenaline comes from the meet, and it's harder to hang on, but she gets a good block repulsion off the table.
Sam, would you rather not stick in warm-ups and kind of save it in some ways?
Sometimes that's the way to go.
All right, now Maddie Jones as we wait on Park's score to come in. She had a season-high 9.925 last week. 6 scores of 9.9 or better on bars last year. She is usually the anchor, but that is saying something with Maddie Walagora coming in, the grad student, working on her second master's from Alabama. We'll see her next.
She has just such pretty gymnastics all the way to her toe point. Clean, big, tight Jaeger release move. Really showing off the hold on those handstands. Been an area of focus for this Arkansas team. They've been working on feet form, rhythm, extension of the glides. Those are just a few of the things that have been coming up on the routine summaries for coaches across the country.
That's a stick.
That's the stick they were looking for. Arkansas is just a little excited here.
As they should be, because they're looking to drop a low score here.
Double layout. Perfect extension flare right before she lands, really accentuating that landing.
In a dual meet in college gymnastics, you do get to drop one score. You can have one slip up, but that is it. The highest 5 scores count, and this should be a big one coming up from Anaya Smith, the national runner-up on vault last year.
A goal of hers is that she wants to get a 10-0. Really quick twister. I saw some elbow bend on the table. Looked like she came in a little fast there. Let's check out her elbows right there. She does a nice job wrapping it around. You could tell she's such a quick twitched athlete, which is what makes that such a good looking vault.
Anaya, the Arizona State transfer, has really settled into this new era with Georgia. And here is Walagora finishing up rotation 1. Big score for Maddie Jones. That's the highest that we've seen for either team here in this first rotation, 9.925. So they can drop Swaney's 9.775 at the moment. A big score here would really set a cushion for Georgia because they are about to count 2 scores that are sub 1.9, or rather sub 9.8, and there's Smith's score of 9.85.
Yeah, and remember, their biggest goal of the meet is to have a really high team score to help with their overall NQS that's coming up soon. Big straddle Jaeger release move overshoot. This is looking clean so far.
Let's see it, Wally! Beautiful! Put it down, let's go!
Tough to see from this angle if that handstand was fully vertical, but way to work that dismount. That's going to be another big score for Arkansas.
This was really an excellent bars rotation, and the Razorbacks coming off at home, that big upset at a 49-4 set a new season high on bars.
Yeah, look how clean this connection is. She was actually really far away from the bar on that Jaeger, and I call it a willpower catch because she could have easily not caught that release move, but she extended her arms and even went straight for the connected skill afterwards.
So we wait on that one final score. You see that Georgia right on 49. Remember, if you get 4 49s, well, that's a good meet. I mean, it's a 196, but these are teams that are shooting for 197 plus. And so, as you see them come in, and just for your reference, a 9.8 average on every event, that is a 196. So you're looking to do a little bit better than that, waiting on Waligora's score. When we come back, we'll highlight a groundbreaking achievement in the world of gymnastics.
Being a young black gymnast it's very meaningful. You don't see a lot of us out there, and I think when you do, it's very fun to look out for. It was just me and Leah last year, and I'm so great to have Jolie with us this year as well, just adding some black power to the team. Jordan also does a great job of working on the diversity and inclusion piece of it. We have meetings every year talking about like the benefits of it and what the team looks for within it. I'm a founder of BLAC, which is our Black Leadership Athletic Committee in Arkansas. So that's been great. We just do our best to try to hold events where our black athletes and every other athlete and student on campus can just come together and get to know each other, kind of, and build that family community here in Arkansas.
Frankie Price is not the only Price competing in college gymnastics, and something that had never been done before by her sister. Morgan, who was recruited, committed to Arkansas, decided to go to HBCU Fisk to start that program, and she nailed a perfect 10.
This was such a special moment. Just watch her teammates right here. A gymnast is getting ready to compete. Look how excited she is, and then realizes, okay, I can go celebrate with my team. What a special moment for not just Morgan Price, Frankie Price, but the rest of the Fisk team and all of gymnastics to be able to witness something so special.
Yeah, there is no question that college gymnastics is heading in a really incredible direction. We are seeing so much more diversity, and Frankie has been such a huge part of Arkansas. She brings so much flair, so much passion for this sport.
Yeah, and she has a pretty big fan base herself. I actually got a photo of a gymnast that flew all the way from Colorado, her and her mom, to come watch Frankie compete just last weekend. Frankie told me in warm-up that she brought her bracelets, and it really made her feel good to be able to inspire this next generation.
Well, you don't want to miss her anchor floor. That's going to be in rotation 3. Second rotation, though, on the way on vault. Don't miss the freshman Jaleel Lang for Arkansas. And on bars, Jeffrey Scott chasing that perfect 10. Coliseum in Athens, and Arkansas is right on its way, right towards that good average that you want of 49.25, which gives you a 197 for the entire meet. You can see that they are above that with a 49.3. Georgia right at a 49 after vault, but that's not really one of their strengths, and they have a chance to really make that up as Georgia will head to bars and Arkansas will go to vault, where they were a 49.3 last week. Only 199, but they counted 3 scores of 985 or 9875. This is a team that is really consistent, and they're going to have 4 or 5 10-0 start value vaults in every single competition, which is right around where they want to be.
Yeah, they said last week they competed 4, and a big area of focus for this team, whether it's a 10-0 start value or not, is attacking the landings. They're hoping to see it show up here in the meet today.
Cami Weaver
doesn't move her feet, does dip her upper body slightly, but she's always been such a good leadoff for this Arkansas team. She's putting up that steady vault every single week.
But judges will take off for that bend, won't they?
Yeah.
Even though she did stick. Now Georgia on bars, coming off of a 49.325 last week. Every score that they counted was 9.825 or better. It's a number 8 bars rotation in the country. They were number 2 to start the year. I think this can be a real strength here for the Bulldogs.
Pass handstand. Big release move. Wow, looks like she came off of that bar, one hand then the other. That is not the norm. Great work holding that handstand. This leadoff spot has been her position for a while now, and it's because no matter what, even if she has a little hiccup, she does not react and does her job. Watch her hands when she comes off the bar. It's harder to see in this angle actually, but it looked like a 1-2 instead of both of them coming off together, but good recovery from her throughout the rest of the routine.
There is a reason that Naya leads off on 3 of the 4 rotations for Georgia. 9.75 for Weaver. Here's the freshman Lang.
I've been so excited to see this in person because she has done a great job finding these landings, getting really high off the table, really making a statement for a freshman.
Lang had a career high 9.9 last week. She stuck that Yurchenko full.
She's been so clean and she loves to compete. So really worked hard in the offseason. Check out how high she got off the table.
Now she's happy with it and has every right to be. Naya Howard in 9.875. That's a great score to lead off because usually scores build as you go throughout the rotation. So in the number 2 spot, the junior Sydney Fitzgerald.
Tough to see handstands from this angle, but she does a good, clean combination, nice rhythm. Bit shy on that handstand. Athletes have a 10-degree window before judges can deduct. But 2 for 2 on those landings.
Not bad.
They're heating up there, and we all know that sticks can be contagious.
Tied her career high with a 9.825 last week. She might have reset it one more time. And there are really dependable athletes coming up next in Snyder, Wall, Scott, and Smith, who are capable of huge scores. All right, Lang with a 9.85, another good vault there for the freshman. And now here is the sophomore, Dakota Essenprice. They dropped her 9.725 last week.
Yurchenko 1.5. Very quick twitched athlete, still working on dialing in those landings. You see she took a step and then another step. That's going to be 0.2 of a deduction right there.
And so not quite the routine that Arkansas was looking for already with a 9.75 from Cami Weaver. And you can only drop 1 score. So that's something to keep in mind as we continue. Holly Snyder, 9.85 last week. She is a real high flyer. competed on bars 9 times as a freshman. All but 2 of her scores were above a 9.8, and then this year she has gotten off to a little bit of a slower start, but she had hip surgery over the summer, and she is back on floor in the lineup as well, which is just staggering.
Straight body cast to vertical, huge release move, overshoot combination. Caught a little close to the bar. Nice vertical position. Can they go 3 for 3? Oh,
Almost.
not quite.
Georgia really does have some beautiful bar workers. I mean, Snyder, you're going to see Lily Smith in the anchor position, right, Sam, with some of the best toe pointing in the entire country. Here's Grace Drexler. The freshman was thrown into the lineup last week for the first time with a 9.875 last week. Not a bad college debut, and she is debuting with a Yurchenko 1.5 as well, which is a 10-0 start value.
She was one of the athletes that got an opportunity last weekend, took advantage. Unfortunately, not the same consistency. Really went wrong on the table. Her right arm was pretty bent. She twisted early. Sometimes when you're nervous, you can twist early on the table and you don't have enough juice to get the rotation around on the mat, which is what we saw here.
It is the first time that she is competing on the road in college, and Stegman Coliseum can be a daunting environment for any away gymnast. Addie Wall now, 9.875 last week, back-to-back 9.825s for Georgia on bars.
Good handstand. Straight up to that high bar. One of the assistant coaches, Marissa King, said this athlete doesn't get enough credit. She works so hard day in and day out, never complains, and you really see her hard work show up in the competitions here. Wow, that was phenomenal.
3 out of 4, Sam.
That looked good. They're cooking with those landings on bars. That's really been an area of focus the last couple weeks for them, so rewarding to see it show up when it matters most. See coaches in the background, look how excited they are.
Why are sticks so contagious? We hear that so much.
It's the momentum and the adrenaline of a meet that just catches on, similarly to how falls can be contagious in a negative way.
Jocelyn tied her career high with a 9.875 last week. And Grace Drexler scored, obviously, the one you want to drop now, 9.075, but they're going to have to count at least 2 sub-9.8 scores.
Well, they said sticking's actually been a little hard for her because she had smaller feet, and also this vault that she's doing in college is a timer for what she competed just last year, but I saw her stick this in the one touch. Can she repeat it here? She does.
She can.
Head coach Jordan Weber said it's been a good challenge for her that Jocelyn comes in every day and is excited to figure out how to stick these landings. Slight bin with that one arm on the table, but man, you couldn't ask for a better landing than that.
And Arkansas really did need a good vault there, trying to drop that low score. Mission accomplished for the moment with only Haley Klein to go in the anchor spot. Jeffrey Scott following up. Look at Addie Wall's score, 9.95, big one.
She is such a beautiful artistic bar worker. She just floats from bar to bar. Coaches say she has been working so hard because she wants to get a 10 on this event and on beam. It's not going to be tonight though. Didn't quite have enough rotation on that double layout dismount, had to take a step forward.
Another women's basketball triple header here Sunday on the SEC Network, starting with number 15 Tennessee hosting Ole Miss in Knoxville at noon Eastern. Both teams coming off 30-point wins against SEC foes, so Coach Yo will head to a very difficult place to play. Not Haley Klein, but it's Frankie Price. We have got a last-minute change here in the anchor spot. And I do wonder a little bit, trying to get in Jordyn Wieber's mind, if she's just looking for a really solid vault, someone she knows can deliver a good score.
Looking for a solid Yurchenko full, put it on her feet.
Oh, wow.
That was a job well done.
Sam, the amplitude on that vault.
Arms straight on the table, opens at the right time, control on the landing, not quite stuck, but just that small hop, very little deductions on that 995 start value vault.
All right, so a good decision, it looks like, for Arkansas to throw Frankie Price in the anchor spot. Coming off of Roberson's 9-9, trying to save this rotation. Lily Smith now with, after Jeffrey Scott's 9.825, the reigning SEC Freshman of the Year on bars.
Yeah, we talk about athletes that are capable of getting a 10 on events, and Lily's already gotten a 10 on this one, but is certainly capable of repeating. She's just so gentle. She places her body in the correct form. Breathtaking to watch.
Show me a deduction.
Nails the landing.
Her feet are always glued solid together too, which is really incredible and very difficult, as you know.
Shows off her form, and then when you're able to lock in a dismount, tuck full in, looks good. We'll see what the judges do.
I would think you've got to get 10 from at least one of the judges there. Might be a 995, 9975. That was a big score.
Yeah,
a great bars rotation.
I'd say 995 seems like a good, accurate number for that one.
So we wait on Smith's score. Arkansas's came in at a 49.075. And Lily Smith with a 995. Good call there, Sam. And when we come back, we'll learn more about what it's like to compete here in the iconic Stegeman Coliseum.
So different. No other gyms match it.
Competing in Steg is just like crazy.
It's so loud.
Oh my goodness. The crowd and the supporters, they're so loyal. Steg's packed out like every single meet. We're the second most attended sport other than football. Just having all of those people there for gymnastics, I've never experienced something like Steg.
We're just dogs, that's all. We got the dog in us.
It absolutely is a special place to compete here inside Stegeman Coliseum. Alex Perlman, Sam Pesek back with you. The most decorated gymnastics program in history. 10 of them, but you see none since 2009. Sam, you got the chance a couple of times to compete inside this building. I mean, when it's rolling, it's one of the best environments there is.
Yeah, it's really cool to just see how passionate their fans are. It's one thing to have so many fans in the stands, and another thing to have them cheering so loudly when you're going, and it's an arena that really knows good gymnastics.
Yeah, there is no question about that. And again, it's a very new era here with co-head coaches in Cecile Concuto-Landy as well as Ryan Roberts, and they're trying to bring it back to the glory days that we used to see. We'll see if the U.S. Olympian Kara Aker can give them a big score on beam. And you don't want to miss Maddie Walagora on the floor. Tight meet here in Athens. Downtown Athens, one of the crown jewels of the South, and certainly one of my favorite SEC towns. Georgia calling it home as the Bulldogs get onto the beam here in rotation number 3. You can see that they have regained the lead with a new season high 49.425 on bars. But Sam, it's by a half a tenth. That is less than a step on floor, one little wobble on beam. This thing isn't even close to decided.
Yeah, and I would say both of these teams are evenly matched on the next 2 events. Of course, on beam, anything can happen. And then you're looking at floor, where it's always been a strength of Arkansas's.
Nia Howard to lead off on her 3rd event today. Georgia on beam had a 49.35 last week. They got off to a slow start, but they're averaging 49.375 over the last 3 meets. That would put them 3rd in the country, only behind Oklahoma and Utah in that stretch.
Nia likes being earlier in this lineup, and she's really so consistent. Obviously had a fall at the very first meet, but she'd never fallen before, the coaches told me. So sometimes it's good to remind yourself that you're human. She's been steady ever since. Something I like to look at on beam is an athlete's face. And you can tell by looking at Nia's face, she just looks calm. She's visibly breathing. And the athletes that have the presence of calm, cool, and collected are usually the best suited for this position. I want to see her moving a little quicker to this dismount, but finds the landing. Gets Georgia going on the right foot here on beam.
And thankfully the smoke has cleared a little bit inside Stegman Coliseum too. And everyone could see very clearly a good leadoff routine for Nia Howard.
Yeah, I gotta say, floor routines are hard enough as they
sure.
they are. You don't need smoke to be bothering you too.
Arkansas is throwing out the same lineup they had last week when they set a 49-4-5 rotation, the highest scored event. And Callista Gamiao, talk about reliable in the leadoff spot. That's pretty much her definition. The acoustics the way they are too inside Stegman, you can really feel the floor music. It reverberates off this roof.
Her plant her feet on this last pass. Good job by Callista. Slid her foot on the first pass, solid on the second too. A big deduction in college gymnastics is how your feet land. So you want to see no movement when the foot gets planted right here. No deductions there.
You don't have to stick it in college gymnastics. You can take that controlled step back, and there is no deduction. Nia Howard started with a 9.85, and now the sophomore Anya Turner.
Associate head coach Cecile Landy right there told me that Anya is just solid all the time. Which is a big statement. Triple series. A lot of people ask me, is it hard to compete beam when your teammates are screaming for you? And actually it's not. The crowd is quiet, and sometimes it can be scarier to compete beam when the atmosphere is totally quiet. You can hear a pin drop. So the athletes on the team try to create some noise, so it feels a little bit more like practice. Couldn't ask for anything more from a beautiful stuck dismount. That was a solid routine. Triple series, difficult to do. Back handspring, layout. Judges look for rhythm throughout that series. She did a really good job.
Maybe the stick fest is on for another rotation for Georgia. Gamia's score was 9.825. Haley Klein now, who was supposed to anchor vault, got pulled late for Frankie Price, who threw down a great vault, and now she'll get a chance to debut tonight here on floor.
Front tuck to double back. Arkansas got a lot of feedback that they were getting deductions on their leaps, so that has really been an area of focus for this team this week.
What are judges looking for in the leaps?
Extending to 180 degrees and to make sure the rotation is all the way around on those turning leaps and jumps.
Well, we know that Arkansas is a great floor team, and it's kind of part of their identity at this point, I feel like. So good last year, they have continued that. They have such dynamic athletes there, and so they continue to do their good work on floor as usual. Anya Turner's score, look at that, 9.925. You see it on the score tower on the right side of your screen. And here is the Belgian international, the freshman O'Driscoll.
I watched her do multiple of this series coming up. It's another triple series, so adding that difficulty, and she just does it so gracefully down, and she did all of them, and they looked like that. I asked head coach Ryan Roberts, why hasn't she been in the lineup yet? Because she looks so solid, and he goes, honestly, we just have so much depth on this event. We have a lot of inter-gym competition going. They're competing for spots. He said they're doing it respectfully, but Aberdeen earned her opportunity this week to compete. Walking into this round off 1.5, whatever works, and that definitely worked for that stuck landing.
You're watching Friday Night Heights, presented by Sprouts Farmers Market. And here inside Stegman Coliseum, we continue with a 9.825 from Klein and Gamyal. And now Maddie Jones, who was Arkansas's points leader last year, a 9.875 for her last week.
One of the things Arkansas focuses on, and what I think makes them so good on this event, is adapting quicker to the floor in warm-ups. So you can imagine every single location and away meet you go to, the floor is a bit different. Sometimes they're bouncier, sometimes they're harder, and adapting in warm-up helps them have commanding landings like that in the competition.
These are really crucial routines here for Arkansas. They need a high road score. They want a 197 plus. Right now they are shooting for about somewhere in the high 196s if everything kind of stays the same way it has been. So they want to up it.
tough to see since we were looking at the view behind her, but really uncharacteristic fall on that last pass.
Very unexpected there.
Let's see what happened. Missed the punch and just looked like she tripped, honestly. It was like, sometimes you do those things where you fall and you're asking yourself, what just happened there? It really didn't look that wrong, but looked like she stumbled on the landing.
Kara Aker coming up as one of the best. Was an alternate on the U.S. team for the Tokyo Olympics. Came here to Georgia after starting her career at Utah. She had actually retired from the sport, but she is capable of so much. And the support that the Bulldogs and Cecile and Ryan have given her has kind of reignited her love for gymnastics again, which is awesome to see.
Well, I've been so excited to see her in competition. I saw the big scores that she's been putting up, and she has just always been a beamer. What I mean by that is she's able to adjust so quickly in the air on all of her skills and really minimize any deduction if there even is one. Side aerial, back layout, step out for her series, and she just places that back foot down, almost landing on one leg, which you don't even get extra credit for that. Cecile Landy said this athlete here is the one that impressed her the most because she just works so hard. She has to train at different hours because of her major and really goes above and beyond to make sure she gets the training in to be able to compete like this. Ooh. Wow.
That was super close.
I have never seen a closer dismount than that was. This mount is always really pretty to see. Really starts off the rhythm and the momentum of the routine. Let's see what happened. Didn't kick her front leg enough, but skates through and just misses the beam. Good thing for her.
Will the judges do anything with that?
I'm not sure, actually.
I guess we'll have to find out. Otherwise,
I think they could take lack of amplitude
okay.
on the dismount.
Otherwise, I mean, that was awesome. So Maddie Jones with a 9.175 after the fall. That is the score that Arkansas absolutely needs to drop now. And here is Walagora. It's a staple for Alabama on bars, beam, and floor last year. She is getting her second master's. Has one in healthcare, and now this one's in operations management. She is
I'm loving
all
the
set to
faces
kill
here,
it.
Alex. I'm sorry. I gotta watch the faces. They're so good.
I mean, Arkansas can perform floor. There's no question about that.
She's a veteran and has certainly had experience competing under pressure, and right now she needs to hit a good routine for Arkansas. And it's looking like that's gonna happen here.
I mean, this is really what Jordan Weber was hoping that Maddie would bring, that type of experience and that confidence coming over after competing her entire career already in the SEC.
Yeah, the athletes are screaming for a 10. Last week she got a 9.925 in her debut. This is going to be another big number for Maddie.
That tied her career high as well. So Jeffrey Scott follows up Kara Akers 9.875. At the moment they're dropping the 9.8. You see a grayed out on your screen by Aberdeen O'Driscoll. She followed up Akers 9.9 last week with one of her own.
Cecile Landy, head coach, told me that she's just so hard on herself in the gym because she wants to get the 10 before she retires. Unique series, I love to see that. From experience, sometimes when you try too hard to get a 10, it can cause other mistakes. She's certainly capable. Her gymnastics is just so beautiful to watch.
And one of my favorite parts of any beam routine is coming up.
What's so impressive is her leaps are just casually over split, is how I'd like to say. It looks like she's not even trying, and she is way beyond that 180 requirement the judges like to see.
Here we go. The 8th straight gym dog to perform the moonwalk on beam.
I actually saw her wobble on that in warm-up, so I'm glad she didn't do that here. I think she's better with a little bit of pressure. Not going to be her 10-0 performance, but it was still entertaining to watch.
Another men's basketball quadruple header is tomorrow right here on SEC Network, starting with number 5 Tennessee hosting Vandy. That's in Knoxville at 1 Eastern. Tennessee has won 7 straight over the doors at home, but I mean, Vandy's got some good wins this year, some big upsets, so that should be a good one. Jocelyn Robertson, the former Pan Am Games floor champion in her distinguished elite career, at a 9.875 last week and follows the 9.9 from Wallagora. That's more like it.
Watching her have so much fun in college. I think the funny part is the hard part, the challenge for her gymnastics is controlling these landings, because it's really just a watered down version of what she's capable of. So it's a completely different area of focus than elite gymnastics.
Is that the biggest difference? What was it for you coming from elite to college?
Oh, there was a lot, Alex.
We'd have to have 2 different shows?
Yeah.
To get through all of it?
Look how high she gets on this double layout. And I say simple double layout because she's able to twist that thing. The control is the area of focus for her, both on that first pass and right here on the landing. Had to take the hop forward, which is a 1/10 deduction automatically.
And now Lily Smith tied her career high with a 9.95 last week. Let's see what the reigning SEC Freshman of the Year can do as they try to drop the 9.7 from Jeffrey Scott. Still, this is a good beam rotation.
And an athlete like Lily is able to put up another big score for them. Something she does well is her arm positions in each skill. Watch when she lands. She just places them. Now it'll be interesting to see what the judges do with that connection. She had a little hiccup there. But the extension and the height of these skills is really impressive. It's a good combination for a gymnast. Finishing gainer full. Just the hop on the dismount. I haven't seen as many solid landings as I know they've been working on in the gym. But she gets really high on this front aerial, straight into a back tuck for her series. And on this gainer full, look at her legs when she lands. Just needed her to stay in that plie or bent knee position to hang on to the stick.
There's kind of with Lily on beam like a je ne sais quoi quality to it. You don't know what it is, but you know that it's special. You can't really describe it, but absolutely beautiful on beam. Frankie Price coming off a 9.925 last week in the anchor spot. 21 scores of 9.9 or better. This is just straight up fun. And you can see the scores for Arkansas right now. A couple 9.825s, a 9.9, a 9.8. They want to drop the 9.175 and need a good one from Frankie.
On floor. She's got the performance quality. She's got the solid landings on her tunneling passes, and then huge leap combination. This is going to be the biggest score for Arkansas.
That's Frank Dog right there. She has embraced the nickname. You see her even throw it into her routine. And this should be the score that Arkansas was looking for desperately to close out floor and keep themselves right in this meet.
I think that's what makes Arkansas so dominant on this event, because even when they have a little hiccup, they move on like nothing happened. They don't look rattled, and they're still able to put up a really big floor score.
Yeah, you can see 48.525. That's going to go away because that's counting the 9.175 from Jones. The beam score for Georgia is final of a 49.25. You see that they were able to drop the 9.7 from Scott. Well, 3 rotations down, 1 to go inside Stegman Coliseum, and it's still anyone's meet. SEC Women's Gymnastics is presented by Sprouts Farmers Market, official healthy grocer of the Southeastern Conference.
Oklahoma's gymnastics is pristine.
They're on their feet in the PMAC. A night we've had circled for a long time.
Very well might be the meet of the year coming up, number 1 versus number 2, 9 Eastern on ESPN2. But following us here on SEC Network, 12th ranked Auburn, who just edged Georgia last week, and then number 3 Florida, knocked off by Arkansas and Bud Walton Arena. Leanne Wong and the Gators need a bounce back.
Some really good matchups, including our meet here tonight. It's a close one.
There is no doubt. I mean, look at that. 3/4 of a tenth separating Arkansas and Georgia. The Bulldogs need a 49.325 to get to a 197. Can they do it? We'll find out as they head to floor and finish off with Lily Smith.
So it all comes down to this last and final event. Big opportunity for Arkansas, though, because beam has been an area where they can afford to improve here and show their consistency.
In terms of the national rankings, Arkansas is 20th in the country on beam. Their average is below a 49. Georgia tied for 14th in the country on floor with Alabama. They average above a 49 too. So you'd have to say going into the final rotation, if the averages play out, Georgia has the upper hand, but anything can happen, and that's, again, why we play these meets. We don't play them, we do the gymnastics again. What do you say, Sam, do gymnastics?
I can say, I feel like we play.
You play?
I feel like we can play gymnastics today. I mean, if I know head coach Jordan Weaver well enough, I know that the message to her team is, hey guys, this is an opportunity to do exactly what we've stepped up to do.
And this is where Arkansas really does need a good rotation. They had a 49.025 last week.
She really feels like the problems that they've had on beam, Arkansas, that is, we're looking at Georgia right here, but Arkansas, the issues that they had, it comes from confidence on their landings. She said that they just want it so bad that they're trying too hard, and it's that mental hurdle that they're trying to overcome on all of the events, to just relax and let the stick come to you.
The result is going to be incredibly important for both of these teams. Again, though, the score might even be more so, especially for Arkansas. Right now, they are on the outside looking into the SEC championships. They are at the moment the number 9 team. Only 8 make it. Georgia's in a good spot right now, Sam. They're 6th, and they have had a surprisingly strong season. We didn't know what to expect maybe from the Bulldogs coming into a new era of co-head coaches, but they have been steadily improving every single week, and they've been so consistent. Talk about consistency, that is Callista Gamio, as we mentioned, 9.825 for her in her usual leadoff spot last week, giving the team a real sense of calm there.
Opens unique series, standing layout. That's a really hard series to do because a standing layout on beam, usually you see that with a back handspring into it to gain momentum, but she doesn't even need that. What she does so well on this event is absorb the beam after every single landing. It's a big reason of why she's in this leadoff role. Coaches say that, you know, her personality is really chill and level-headed, and her gymnastics follows that and sets a good tone for the rest of this Arkansas team. And I love the smile on beam too. Wow, they're coming in hot. If all of the routines look like that, it's going to be tough for Georgia to contend.
I mean, in so many ways, Sam, this is the most important routine of the night, the leadoff on beam, because it really sets the tone for rotation. Aaron Williams leads off Georgia on floor. They had a season high 49-4 last week, so no surprise Ryan and Cecile made 0 changes to this lineup. She had a 9.775 in the leadoff spot. They were able to drop that, but had a 9.875 the week before.
Watch the foot when it's planted. No deductions there.
Georgia wearing pink tonight for Women's Empowerment Night. Also celebrating Valentine's Day, so it fits perfectly into the theme.
Controlled landings, just the hop back on that last pass. We're gonna get another look at that here. doing a double back, 2 flips in a tuck shape. Had to hop it back to the lunge. That's some of the areas where the judges are going to be looking to deduct.
So that is how Georgia starts off on floor. Bit of a lineup change now here for Arkansas, as Maddie Jones has been scratched. Haley Klein put in lower in the lineup, and Maddie Waligora moves into the number 2 spot, who is trying to rebound from a fall last week on her acro series. They're able to drop her 9.175, however, following up Gamia's 9.875 to start.
Maddie really attacks this routine. You can see the intensity in her eyes. Good opportunity for redemption. Struggled a little bit last year, but it's those sharp landings that tell me she's gonna make the rest of this routine. There's certain cues that I look for with athletes on beam that let me know if they have the confidence, because beam is mostly a mental event. Out of all the events, the athletes have been doing the skills the longest on this event here, so really they want to rinse and repeat. And it's toughest to do on the road when you're ending on this event here. But this is looking like a really solid routine.
Nice.
The best redemption you could ask for. That should be a big score for Arkansas. What a fantastic lineup change situation, putting her in this 2 spot. Showing the experience to jump up there and hit a solid routine.
So that should be another good score for Arkansas after starting with the 9.875 from Gamiao. And now Holly Snyder, just her 3rd floor routine of this season. Hard to believe she had hip surgery over the summer. Wasn't doing anything in the gym for a long time, and then finally started coming back over the fall. And she is definitely needed on this Georgia team to put up a good score. Giving Haley Davis of Kentucky a little bit of a run for her money with the best rock floor routine in the SEC.
Co-head coach Cecile Landy said that she works at 200%, and she's been so impressed with the way that she's been able to come back from her hip surgery, that the message to Holly is always, look how far you come, because she's just never satisfied. But man, nice job. Floor, to me, would be the hardest to come back from a major injury like that, but she looks to have good endurance. The landing here, she took a step forward, and again, taking a step forward on a backward flipping skill is an automatic 1/10 deduction.
And part of the rebirth of this Georgia program, the #1 recruiting class in the country a couple of years ago coming here to Athens with Lily Smith and Annie Wall. Priscilla Park a 9.825 last week. The score of a 9.9 for Maddie Waligora, really setting the tone along with Gamiao to lead off. This is the beam rotation Arkansas was looking for.
Taking a big deep breath. for her series. Usually you just have to get your first skill out of the way and then you're grooving. Coaches say that she actually has two personalities. Her gym personality that's really serious and tends to be hard on herself, and then her outside of the gym personality that's really fun, and they're encouraging her to bring that fun, hilarious, goofy side into the gym. She was taken out of beam lineup the end of the year last year because she was struggling with her confidence in competition, but said that's actually been an area of strength for her. And you see it show up here. Man, this is 3 for 3 solid routines for Arkansas. They're on a roll. New mount for her this year, and a completely new routine construction, actually. Taking out that triple series for a back handspring layout and new dismount as well. Seems to be doing well for her to be able to stick that in such a clean way.
Really special night for Priscilla Park as well at a 9.825 on bars, but from not too far from where we are right now in Athens. Originally grew up in Atlanta. All right, so here's Changay Botchkoy. Back-to-back 9.85s for Williams and Snyder to begin. And remember, Georgia was only up by 3/4 of a tenth. So you can see as the scores come in, which team has the edge. You can kind of start to do the math in your head.
Great full in to lead things off, great landing. Changay can hit this pass. It's a score that Georgia's going to want. Job well done.
Back-to-back 9.85s, and we could be looking at our first 9.9 of the floor rotation here for Georgia.
Last pass, 2.5 twist, punch front. Good posture when she finishes that pass.
But on the other side of things, Arkansas is on a tear. 9.925 for Priscilla Park, the score. So look at these building. 3 season highs in a row for the Razorbacks, and Klein into this lineup for Maddie Jones. Let's see how she handles it.
One of the things head coach Jordan Weaver said is that she's not afraid to change the lineups, especially if someone is having a really great warm-up. That's how deep she believes this team is on this event. They all train really well, and it's actually tough for her to choose lineups.
And also remember that Jones fell on the floor.
They do so many different assignments to test their ability to hit under pressure. Can they handle any beam? Can they handle any direction on the beam? And it really helps with practicing the distractions at an away meet, which is a really big area of focus that Arkansas had coming into this meet. Small hop on the dismount, but continuing that positive momentum for Arkansas on beam for sure.
Jordan Weber is looking for the momentum to continue here as you see the scores that Klein is following up. Georgia needs to do a little bit more on floor. Botchkoy's score came in at 9.85, so they've had 3 straight. Very, very consistent. Now it's time to go big, and Aquino can do that. Had a career high 9.9 last week. And just watch her. She's really starting to dial in her passes now. Used to have a little bit maybe too much energy, especially on that final pass. But according to Cecile Kankito-Landi, that's not the case anymore. Wow.
They've really been focusing on her technique in her tumbling. Coaches always say that's the one thing you can rely on no matter what floor you're competing on. And it's showing up here in the competition.
That might have been the best she's ever done that last pass in college.
I saw Cecile Landi jump, fingers in the air, celebration after her first pass. It's the little things these athletes and coaches work on every single day in the gym, crossing their fingers that it shows up in these critical moments. Finds the landing on one pass, and again, another look at that first pass.
That certainly should be the highest score that Arkansas, rather that Georgia has gotten on floor so far, with 3 straight 9.85. So Arkansas with 2 gymnasts left following Klein's 9.825, hoping that that is the end of it. There is a lot of excitement, an explosion of applause for Nyla Aquino with a new career high of 9.95. Congratulations to that outstanding freshman.
And kudos to Cammie, really looking like a rock up there during that celebration. It's important to focus on your mental cues while you're up there. It's impossible to think 2 things at once. So if you're concerned about what people are yelling about, you're probably not thinking about what's going on in your own routine. And you can see by her face, man, she's excited. This is phenomenal.
And then following Cammie, you've got an Olympian. So I'd imagine Jordan Weber feeling good right now.
Oh, man, she got a little too excited. Those are the moments that head coach Jordan Weber says they just try a little too hard, and you can see it on her face. That was such a good routine. Still a good routine, but if she stuck that, man, that would maybe be the best routine I've seen her do.
Just the hop on the dismount. She's gone as high as 9.95 back in 2023. Probably not right there. And they're looking to drop the 9.825 still from Haley Klein. Just Addie Wall and Lily Smith to finish out Georgia for the meet. 2 of the centerpieces of that #1 class in the country 2 years ago. Addie had a 9.9 last week, which was just off her career high, her second one so far this season. I mean, we have known Lily Smith and Addie Wall for years, competed against each other in the Nastia Lukin Cup in 2023 before they got to college. Now friends, used to be foes, and now they're trying to work towards the same goal of knocking off Arkansas and scoring a big home win for Georgia.
Big tuck full in. That's called an E difficulty pass.
Going up from A to the easiest, and you work your way up the alphabet, and so you can imagine E not so easy. It doesn't stand for easy, that's for sure.
For a clean pass here. Oh, had to take the step forward. That's an automatic 1/10 deduction. And I gotta remind everybody that we're now midway through season. Even though they make it look easy, floor routines are so tiring and exhausting, especially when you've been doing it week in and week out. Just didn't quite have enough height to get the rotation around on that last pass.
That could easily be the difference in this meet, though. That is how tight it is. Cami Weaver's score came in at 9.85. Another solid one here for Arkansas. They have gone season highs, all 5 gymnasts so far. And now Jocelyn with a 9.9 in the anchor spot last week. She won beam at Olympic trials.
She continues to be so consistent, so steady on beam. I'm dying to ask her about her mental toughness on this event, because you see some athletes like Jocelyn, and it's just bulletproof up there, the way that she's able to work through this routine. She's been such a strength to this lineup. That was very crooked after her side aerial, adjusted, finished the layout step out without even a wobble. Calling the Hogs right before her dismount. It's a score they're definitely gonna need to put them in contention to battle Georgia here. We'll see if it's enough.
Right now, as it stands, Georgia is leading by 1/4 of a tenth. You can't get any less of a lead than that. And Lily Smith now following up Addie Wall. All right, 9.825. So that score hoping to go away and to count the trio of 9.85s and Aquino's career high 9.95. Lily had a 9.9 last week to close out their season high rotation. Her third 9.9 or better this season.
Looks like there's a bit of confusion.
Yeah, you see Ryan Roberts telling Lily to get off the floor, and now assistant coach Marissa King, the Florida and Great Britain grade, going over, making sure she's not thrown off her game as
It's obviously,
she resets.
It's obviously not a deduction, but it really does throw off your mental preparation when you step onto the floor and have to stop. Curious what happened.
Sam, does she most likely know the situation at hand right now?
Yeah, she's just focusing on her routine now that she's gotten going.
All right, 9.9 for Robertson comes in. So Arkansas with a 197.05. Georgia with a 197 on the dot. That's including the 9.825 from Waldo. If Lily Smith gets a 9.9 here, Georgia wins the meet.
Important last pass.
Wow, what a leap. She might have just sealed it. And it's only fitting this is the loudest that Segment Coliseum has been all night.
That was such a good routine. This last pass, lots of pressure here. Legs glued together on that 1.5. Sometimes it's tough to keep them squeezed when you're twisting.
That is going to be a huge score when it comes in. It should be enough to beat Arkansas. The reaction says it all. A 9.95 for Lily Smith. And Georgia comes from behind in the final routine. Lily Smith seals it for a Bulldog victory here in Athens.
Great work from Georgia, putting a stronger meet together on across all 4 events. That was a big goal of theirs, to have some new athletes in and to show the consistency. Arkansas, on the other hand, has a big road score and has proved that they can handle the pressure and distractions of an away meet. So it's a win-win.
Georgia over Arkansas here tonight. That will do it for us in Athens with Sam Peshek for our entire SEC Network crew. I'm Alex Perlman saying so long. After the break, Friday Night Heights continues from Gainesville, number 3 Florida, hosting 12th ranked Auburn.